If we took you from where you are sitting, grabbed that phone from your hand, and dropped you right in the middle of a wild forest, how long do you think you could survive? A day? A few hours? Maybe just a few minutes? You're probably saying, I am a modern human. I can solve anything with my mind, aren't you? Maybe right now you are sipping that sweet, milky latte you love so much, thinking everything is perfectly under control. But you might be living in an illusion, a massive one at that. We live in the most comfortable, safest era in history. Air-conditioned rooms, meals delivered to our doors with a single click, an infinite network of information accessible every second. We built flashy buildings, climbed to the sky, looked at the world from the top floors of skyscrapers and said, "We made it." But there is a dark price we pay for this luxury, for this immense comfort. While climbing those corporate ladders, we left behind the true human inside us, wild, invincible, and in perfect harmony with nature. In the process of modernization, we lost the most fundamental traits that make us who we are, traits stemming from our magnificent creation. Today, we're going to talk about the 7 great abilities humanity has lost on its long journey from ancient roots to modern skyscrapers. But the real surprise is this: what you're about to hear is not just a history lesson. Towards the end of the video, especially when we get to the 7th item, your entire perception of life might be shaken. When you hear what that strange, gnawing feeling of suffocating you experience every day in the office, at school, or amid the crowds in the subway actually is, you might never look in the mirror the same way again. If you're ready, let's begin. Number 1. Unshakable focus and the art of waiting. Do you know what the average attention span of a person today is? Just 8 seconds, even less than a goldfish. Even while watching a video, we get bored and check the comments. But what about our ancient ancestors? They could wait for hours, even days, tracking prey without making a single sound, never taking their eyes off the target. They watched the direction of the wind, the rustle of a leaf, the breathing of their prey. Patience wasn't just a virtue for them. It was one of the most powerful weapons of focus embedded in human nature. We, however, are terrified of the feeling of boredom, so we constantly numb our minds with cheap dopamine. We sacrificed our unshakable focus to 15-second videos. Modern man has almost entirely forgotten the ability to lock on to a target and silence the world. Number 2. Natural navigation and mental mapping. Now, be honest with me. If your battery died and Google Maps shut down, could you find your way back home from 3 streets away? Let's be real, most of us couldn't. In past eras, humans could draw mental maps spanning thousands of kilometers in massive forests or endless steppes, simply by looking at the stars, the angle of the sun, the direction of the wind, and the moss on the trees. Their minds were like clockwork navigation devices reading the divine codes on Earth. We, however, outsourced this ability to the piece of metal in our pockets. We lost our sense of direction because we forgot to look at the real world around us, too busy staring at screens to know where we are. Number 3. Freedom of movement and marvelous biomechanics. Take a look at the chair you're sitting on. Very comfortable, isn't it? Lumbar support, super soft. Well, that chair might be your physical prison. Our ancestors spent their days walking, running, climbing, lifting heavy things, and most importantly, resting in a deep squat position for hours. Their bodies were flexible like a bow, solid as steel. We, however, do the most contradictory thing to our biological design by sitting in front of a computer for 10 hours a day. Our necks slump forward, our spines lock up, our joints rust. The magnificent, entrusted design of the human body is meant to move. We condemned it to rot in office chairs. We grew heavy and lazy. Number 4. Reading the silence and being an observer. We forgot how to be keen observers. We put on our headphones and shut out the world outside with noise-canceling mode. Yet, in the wild, silence was one of the biggest heralds of approaching danger. If the forest suddenly went silent, something was wrong. Ancient humans were masters at reading micro-changes in their environment. They could sense coming rain from a shift in the smell of the air or danger from the flight of birds. They spoke the silent language of nature. Today, we are so blinded that we cannot even notice the sadness in the face or the tremble in the voice of the person sitting right before us. We sacrificed our ability to read our surroundings for the sake of staring at screens. Number 5. Circadian rhythm and deep, healing sleep. How many people do you know who don't have sleep problems? Almost none, right? Because we worked against our creation by trying to make the night bright. In past eras, when the sun went down, humans accepted the darkness, put out the fire, and fell into that deep sleep where the brain rejuvenates. Their sleep and wakefulness were in perfect harmony with the natural rhythm of the earth. Today, those bright blue lights hitting our eyes at midnight constantly send our brains the signal, "It's daytime, stay awake, there is danger." We destroyed our natural sleep architecture with our own hands. We turned into zombies who can't rest, can't recharge, and constantly wake up tired. Some of us even made fun of early sleepers, asking, "Are you a chicken?" when in fact they were the ones following the real rule.
6. Genuine community bonds, standing shoulder to shoulder. You might have 5,000 connections on social media, but when your life is in danger, when you lose your job, or when you experience a massive collapse, how many of them would fight shoulder to shoulder with you? For ancient communities, unity meant survival. They put in the effort together, shared food, and raised children together. The cold arrogance brought about by individualism didn't exist, because someone who didn't stand shoulder to shoulder had a very hard time clinging to life. The modern world sold us the lie. Be yourself. You are on your own. Build your own kingdom. Unfortunately, in those massive skyscrapers and concrete blocks where millions of people live crammed together, we are going into history as the loneliest, most isolated generation. We traded real solidarity for virtual likes. 7. Instinctive sense of danger, the secret of modern anxiety. Here we are at the most crucial point of the video. I mentioned it in the beginning. I told you I would reveal the source of that gnawing feeling inside you. Please listen to this very carefully. In the past, if you were walking in the wild and suddenly got a cramp in your stomach or your hair stood on end, it was your nature's way of saying, "Stop. There is danger here. Get away." Instincts were the tremendous alarms of those magnificent creation codes embedded in our DNA. Our ancestors never ignored this inner voice. But today, when your boss is toxically yelling at you in the office, when your soul is being sucked out in those meaningless meetings, or when you're flailing in the wrong relationship, the exact same signal comes from your body. Your stomach cramps, your chest tightens, your breath gets short. This cramp, this tightness, isn't just a biological alarm. It is also the way your pure soul is screaming that it doesn't belong in this artificial, meaningless, and fake world. Your body and soul unite and scream at you, "This place isn't safe. This place isn't for you." But what do? You say, "I have to be professional." You say, "I shouldn't be feeling this." You silence that unique warning system inside you, pop an antidepressant on top of it, and go back into that toxic environment, that soulless cage. This is one of the greatest secrets of that massive epidemic we call anxiety or panic attacks in the modern world. Anxiety is not always a disease. Most of the time, it is your true essence which you have suppressed, ignored, and forgotten, trying to communicate with you, trying to save you from that fake modern cage. We didn't lose our ability to feel right from wrong. We just learned to silence the voice inside us, and we pay the price with our mental health. We are not weak. You are not weak. Lying dormant in your DNA is a magnificent biological hardware capable of enduring the harshest conditions of nature, capable of starving for days and never giving up. You have that will of steel in your core. But you need to wake up from that comfortable slumber imposed by the system. Maybe tomorrow on your way to work, you'll take out your headphones and listen to the wind. Maybe when you get distracted, instead of reaching for your phone, you'll face that feeling of boredom and reignite that sharp focus inside you. And one of the most important points, maybe you'll finally listen to those cramps in your stomach and courageously step onto the right path your intuition is showing you. If you've liked what we've talked about so far and you've watched the video up to this minute, hit that subscribe button right now and join us. And confess this to me in the comments. Which of these 7 abilities do you feel you've lost the most? Which item made you say this is exactly it? I want to read those genuine thoughts in the comments. Remember, comfort makes you weak. See you in the next video. Stay strong.